is a person can have the most elaborate plan of crime and something always goes sideways. And I'm gonna go on the video real quick. And it's like, how hard is it to plan something with another human involved?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, when when they break in the house, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna plan for this.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me see.
Things are never going according to plan.
As Larry uses it for rolling cover and continues firing. Larry Phillips Jr. and Emilian Matasauranu. They had planned for their next hit to be at another Bank of America location, and in order
For people who don't know, this is probably one of the most infamous shootouts caught on camera. These dudes try to plan this. I think they robbed a bank a couple of times, and they didn't get caught. And for some reason, they just didn't stop. They had to go back that third or that final time. But this is the kind of stuff you plan, and listen to how they plan some of this. We'll probably let you know, but then how it didn't work out.
to maintain fire superiority, the pair would bring with them 3 Norinco Type 56 rifles, a Bushmaster XM15 dissipator, an HK91 or civilian G3, and a Beretta 92 FS. The pair
Man, I don't know if people understand about guns, but those not Fisher Price toys, man. That's the big boy toys, you know what I'm saying?
No, they plan to have a shootout.
Think about how long it took for them to load everything up to have 100 rounds. You know how long it takes to load 100 rounds in the drum, man? That ain't no 5-minute thing.
Over 1,000 rounds.
Yes.
Between two
Easy.
people.
Yeah.
Two.
They're also
Fire
heavily
down.
laid up in body armor, each wearing bulletproof material for a soft vest before inserting metal trauma plates underneath those vests. Phillips went a step farther by wearing what's called a groin guard, as well as taking pieces of Kevlar and duct taping it to his arms and legs.
You know what? You just like, you know what? I'm going to go the extra mile. You know what I'm saying?
And like, they're not going to get me. I know the police ain't going to get me because I'm going to put it on my legs. Nobody ever thought of this. I'm going to be the first one to do this.
Boy, I got a great idea. Boy, woo, I got some fun.
Some of y'all think like that. If I rob a bank, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have this, and I'm going to have that, and I'm going to get away. And that's what they're thinking.
That's why you got to be careful about this sound in your head when you be thinking of stuff, because he was having this sound in his head. They were coming up with this.
Each of the men wore gloves in order to hide their fingerprints, so the gloves had sewn-in watch faces so that they could time the robbery itself. So, on February the 28th of 1997, the two men pulled into the north parking lot at 9:16 a.m. To calm their nerves, the two downed phenobarbital before they walked in. Phenobarbital is typically an anti-seizure medication, but for what they were using it for, it was a very intense nerve suppressor. The two set their timers for 8 minutes and then exited the 1987 Chevy Celebrity. Completely kitted out, the two made their way to the sidewalk and then began to walk.
How in the world do you walk with that much armor on and think it's going to have that kind of attention, man? Clearly, these dudes didn't watch Heat. They didn't watch Heat at all. Clearly. Two dudes walking into a bank with he got body armor on his legs, man. You know what I'm saying?
They're walking like RoboCop.
They in
Man,
a
for real.
Into the
1987
bank.
Celebrity.
Man.
Boy,
Out of all the cars you can pick, a celebrity. Not the Astro van, not the Chevy Express van. Not even, what's the jump out van? The Ford Econo line. They couldn't even get a Ford Econo line.
No Ford Ranger.
Man.
America. And that 8-minute timer probably would have been okay if it wasn't for a patrol car that just so happened to be driving by at the same time.
And that's the stuff you can't plan for, right?
It's always going to happen. Somebody going to be walking by, just the police. That was a miracle that police just saw him, just driving.
Boy.
How often do police be patrolling to see?
Yeah, not like they used to. Depending on where you at. I still be seeing them on Oak Street, though. When we roll, we just be hitting the back road sometime, rolling through Oak Street. My wife didn't even know what Oak Street was known for. She'd be laughing when I was telling her. Oh, man.
Patrol car saw the two.
I've seen more police in the good neighborhood than I've seen in the bad. Like, go to Southwest with all that patrolling.
Depending on where you at. I be seeing them, they be in church parking lots chilling. They be over there. They don't be patrolling, but they be posted up, though. I do be seeing that a lot. They be posted up. Like if you're not paying attention, you can ride right past them doing 50. You're like, yeah, he coming for you, dog.
Yeah, He got
Because
to
you know when McClellan was there, they used to post up all the time on McClellan because they used to catch you with people in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Speed trapping and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You guys in ski mask, bulletproof armor with rifles walking into the building and figured it was a problem. Walking into the front door, there was a man using the ATM who Larry grabbed, threw on the floor, yelled, "This is a holdup," and began shooting into the ceiling. Larry kept shooting and telling everyone to get down, while Emil ran to the teller door, shot the lock off, and then grabbed the assistant manager. As soon
Like people don't understand. You hear somebody shoot a fully auto in the ceiling. That's not a welcoming sound.
You hear that indoors.
No earmuffs like at the gun range. You ain't got no earmuffs on. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Then that boy going off so you hear that boy going off so fast, man. Woo-wee. Yeah, man. So keep playing it, man. That's crazy.
as the two had walked in, the teller hit the panic button, although that didn't really matter because, again, the patrol car already saw them. And Emil made his way with the assistant manager to the vault to start loading the bags with money. However, due to the recent string of robberies, a couple probably committed by Larry and Emil, the banks had changed procedure. So,
see, that's another thing they didn't account for. You got away a couple times, and you thinking, I'm going to fast forward a little bit, you thinking that they ain't going to change the procedure. And boy, changed everything. And I think they ain't even get the money that they wanted because it was too crazy how they had it in all them little safe deposit boxes.
Back up. After he comes back inside, he goes to the security guard who is laying on the ground with everyone else before putting a gun to the back of his head and saying, "Whenever I tell you to, move everyone into the vault." Larry then says something to Emil, most likely informing him that there's police outside and it's about to be a fight. So Emil zips up the bag he's been filling, which contains $303,305 as well.
So before you see this gunfight, ask yourself, is your life worth $303,000? And you might not even get the money.
You probably not gonna get it when they start shooting.
You talking about playing roulette in real life. That's what these dudes do. They play roulette in real life.
As 3 die packs. Die packs, for those that don't know, are these little packets of dye that are made to explode if something's stolen or taken away so that it becomes unusable and traceable for whoever stole it. I'm sure Emil wasn't aware of this, and after a short discussion with Phillips, they changed their game. While all of this is happening inside, on the outside, police are taking up defensive positions around the front door of the bank, and Emil is currently trying to bust open the ATMs in order to get some more money. So Larry steps out of the bank, now seeing more police cars lined up in front of him, and just starts shooting. Again.
Now, imagine if you a cop and all you have is what? Did they have Glocks then, or was it more revolvers then?
No, they probably had Berettas.
No.
Berettas. A Beretta, what? 10 rounds at best? What was 15, the thing back then? 15 at the most. 15 won the chamber. This dude raised up. Not only do he got an AK, but he got a drum on it. You know what I'm saying? So when he got a banana clip, okay, 30 rounds, but he got a drum. You don't know how much is in that thing. You know what I'm saying?
And
he playing the drummer boy.
Get shotguns, and then he can hit them so far, so accurate.
Yeah.
They shotgun wasn't even in range. And them pellets was bouncing off their armor.
All you hear is that's what's going on through your head the whole time.
Again, his AK had been illegally converted, so it was just full auto fire in the middle of a busy street in LA at 9 in the morning. So for the first 4 minutes, Larry's just standing outside, shooting a lot, and then reloading, and then shooting.
4 minutes is a long time. Somebody shooting 100 rounds at you.
Man.
I wish I had the Key Sweat song, Make It Last Forever. That's what it feels like.
That's
shooting 100 rounds. He switch cheese in your car, anything. You know what I'm saying?
That's a long
that ain't easy.
time.
That's a long time. 4 minutes is a long time, man. A minute is a long time.
He was shooting that time.
Man.
And again, without really worrying about cover. And the police on the receiving end were essentially pinned down and taking on casualties. Several officers and civilians were receiving gunshots to the legs and arms. The police began retrieving shotguns from their vehicles, but again, at the distance, they didn't do much, and what they did do, the armor stopped. After 4 minutes of this, Larry steps back into the doorway of the bank and Emil comes out to join him. The police during this time are trying to take pot shots at the two, but anytime one of them gets a shot off, they're met with a hail of gunfire. This continues for about 3 minutes before the duo decide to make their way back to the car. As Emil began to follow Larry to the parking lot, about 6 feet after leaving the door, the dye packets exploded. Now, what Emil did not know, or at least didn't realize in the heat of the moment, is that most of the money was fine as it was still wrapped in plastic. However, Larry, thinking that it was all ruined, dropped the money bag.
So now you in a gunfight. The money that you risking your life for, he just said, forget it. The adrenaline, I guess, will make you do that. I don't know. But you know what? I don't need it. Let's just get out of here.
Yeah.
Now you want to
That's
leave.
crazy, man. Yeah. I want to live, man. But, man. Wee.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Once you start shooting at the police like that for 4 minutes straight, the chances of you surviving is very slim.
Yeah, you
Very
ain't
slim.
surviving
Especially
that.
with LA with
Yeah.
the helicopters.
Boy,
trying to get
LA.
away.
Boy.
And upon rounding the corner to the parking lot, Emil finally took his first effective hit when he was shot just above the eye. During the video, you can see Emil grabbing his head and then touching the hood of the white car next to him and the clearly visible blood print. It seems that getting shot in the face highly discouraged Emil from continuing the fight. At this point, it's believed the two
So dude got shot in the face. He's still going. He probably was on that what they call the anti-seizure stuff.
Yeah.
But it then, like I said, you don't want to get caught, man. So you try to fight your way through it. But man, you bleed now. It's probably all in his eye and stuff. So people don't realize this, man. It's a gunfight, man. You think you be watching these Call of Duty, these little movies and stuff. But you don't realize, man, when you get hit, man, it's a whole nother level when you get hit, especially above your eye. Look at it, crack his skull, man.
Yeah, and
They probably so far away, though.
Yeah, but then he had that armor on his head as well.
Yeah.
But that makes you think somebody's shooting straight.
Boy.
You had taken several rounds to the body armor, but the face is a big deal. After this, Emil goes and sets down in the car. It's unknown if he did this in order to leave or if he was just trying to gather himself. But either way, Larry was certainly not leaving as he made his way to the trunk and began resupplying on ammo. Now,
So this is what happened when you make plans with people and you're on the same page and then something, and everybody got different thoughts now. You know what I'm saying? They tried to get
the game plan was off.
Yeah, he tried to go get in the car. Yeah.
It's always business. Never personal.
He instead of getting in the car trying to leave, he reloading. It's like, y'all want to have a gunfight? Let's have a hey dude, like, man, he wants to get in the car and leave, man. What are you doing, man? You think he Rambo now?
There can be only one.
He a Highlander. He a Highlander now.
There can be only one.
what happened during the next 20 minutes is a mystery. There seems to be a conversation happening between the two on the ground, but we can't be sure what it is. Regardless of what Emil's intentions are in this moment, it seems that Larry is ready to fight. He keeps sweeping the areas where he saw gunfire coming from earlier, as well as checking the streets to which police could be coming down, as well as coming around the building and checking the drive-through lane. All the while, when he goes to these corners, he continues firing shots. Now, it's not known if Larry was doing this for strategic purposes.
I'm gonna go forward, but yeah, that 20 minutes shooting, y'all.
And just walking
Think about
around.
how crazy this is. Yeah.
And begins giving covering fire. It's during this time while walking around the side of the car that it seems Larry was hit 3 times. He then began to fire back, seemingly unfazed. However, many believe that this was the killing blow. And not for the round that Larry took, he was only shot in his hand and seemed to be okay. I mean, his left arm was down anyway. But because of the round that hit his gun. In a rather bizarre malfunction, his gun was shot right there at the front of the mag well. This created a sort of divot in the gun.
Can you imagine how lucky a shot that was, bro? you aiming for him, but you hit the mag well, and now he can't pull the mag out. But man, that HK was a monster though, shooting that mug, man. I know him like happy that he couldn't use that gun no more. That's a big gun.
They planned all that, but you can't plan for getting hit in the arm. You can't plan for getting hit in the hand. You can't plan for your gun getting shot. So,
Oh yeah.
just don't.
It don't feel like a scrape on the ground when you ride your bike. You scrape your knee. I don't think it feel like that. I think it feel a little bit worse than that.
gun itself so that the magazine became trapped inside of it. Again, some consider didn't help that, at least inferring by the footage, he was shot in the left forearm again and was now leaning on the side of the car. With all of this happening at
His homeboy opened the door like, man, get in the car, man. He still don't want to do it, man. What do you do at that point, man? I mean, he only want to get in the car.
once, Emil really wanted to leave that north parking lot. Eventually, he leans over to the passenger side and pushes open the door for Larry to get in, but Larry, determined to do whatever he's about to do, slams the door shut and remains outside. So,
What do you do, man? You open the door for him and he shut the door.
And walk beside the car.
And he think he can
Man.
walk fast to the car. Even
Man.
on flat tires, you can still go fast.
Man, it's crazy.
so now Emil is driving the car with 2 flat tires as Larry uses it for rolling cover and continues firing. While still firing and possibly communicating something to Emil, they get to the exit of the north lot and Larry makes a bound for cover to his east. There was a large tractor trailer parked there, which actually was only parked there because a neighbor had complained about its previous position the night before. While still being shot at, Larry runs to one side of the tractor trailer for cover, while Emil drives around it to the other side. It seems that the two lost sight of each other here.
I think that happens, man. When you in a shootout, it's like, dude, you would think that he gonna go to the other side of the truck and go ahead and hop in the car. That's what you think. It's like this dude living for the shootout. What you do at that point? It's like, man.
Emil starts
you
to
doing?
slowly gas the car as if he's waiting for Larry to come out on the other end, and Larry starts
No
looking
way
back
down
and forth
street.
on either.
Yeah. He thought that he was gonna come out in the front side of the truck and hop in the car. I bet you that's probably what he thought. He's like, well, you know, if you want to keep shooting out with him, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do at this point.
Side of the truck to see where Emil is. It was during these few seconds that an officer had looped around to Emil's side of the tractor trailer and began shooting at him in the vehicle. Emil panicked and gassed the car, and in the video you can see the car hit the curb and then correct itself. But it now meant that Larry was completely alone and without cover. While standing and supposedly looking for Emil, Larry got shot twice in the back, one of the rounds hitting his subclavian artery. It's very possible here, with that shot being the first shot that would have given a lot of blood and pain, that Larry started to panic. Because
So that means that the other drug wore off that they took before they went in there.
I mean, he
How
got
many
hit in the
shots?
big bone. He got hit in the big bone. I mean, you don't.
How many shots do it take to lose your high? 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, he said he felt that. He's like, wait a minute. I didn't know it was this real. He felt that.
while returning fire from behind the trailer, his gun jammed again, and this time he made it way worse. See, Larry's gun had experienced something commonly called a stovepipe. In other words, one of the casings that was supposed to come out of the gun instead stayed inside the gun. But Larry, seemingly in a panic, grabbed the bolt and started racking it down, which
Yeah, and I seen that happen for real at a gun range. A dude bully did that, and he couldn't even pull it back. He couldn't even rack it because it was stuck. The casing was stuck. And I told him, I said, I said, man, the best thing you can do, man, is put that joke on the table and just pull it down, man. And hope it don't break the pullback on the AK. But he did that, and then the casing popped out. But yeah, you can't plan for that. A lot of times when it get jammed like that, it's a wrap.
as you can
In
see,
a gunfight,
runs
it's a wrap.
in that area where the casing was stuck and makes it dig further down in the gun. And he just started racking that thing over and over and essentially broke the gun. In order to fix what he did, it would take an entire field disassembly, which he did not have the time for. Seeing nowhere else to go, Larry crawled underneath the tractor trailer. Shortly after
gave
Larry
up.
had crawled under the truck, a cop car came up that was chasing Emil's vehicle. However, the driver looked towards the tractor trailer and saw Larry hiding underneath it. So they quickly got out of the car, shot towards Larry, and probably hit him another 2 times. I think it was during this time Larry really put together that this wasn't going to end well. He went from his very tactful and straightforward idea to a much more sloppy, casual walk. He drew his handgun from his shoulder holster and began firing it one-handed at the police. In his left hand, for some reason, he was holding an HK magazine as if he was going to make it back up the road to the car and get the gun back out. It's possible at this moment that the lack of adrenaline and blood loss was getting to him. He continued to exchange
It's a
shots
wrap.
with the police until one of the police rounds hit him in the hand, causing him to drop his gun. It was at this
They not gonna stop shooting at you. That's what you gotta realize, young people. When you shoot at the cops, man, they not gonna stop shooting at you, man. Dude probably lost so much blood. Even when we get to the other, I just need to skip to it. He lost so much blood. Like, imagine bleeding out for like 30 minutes. This dude probably bled out for about 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
After getting shot in the head and the back.
Yeah, shot in the head.
You don't even want to bleed out for 10 minutes. You don't even want to bleed out for 10 minutes. So you got to think about how much blood you actually got in your body, how much time it'll take to bleed all of it out. That's probably not that long. You know what I'm saying?
That suit was getting heavier and heavier.
Boy, for
moment,
real.
Larry decided it was over, and also that he wasn't going to jail. So Larry leaned over, picked up the gun with his injured hand, and took his own life. So now the only person
So yeah, he took his own life.
He didn't plan for that.
Yeah.
up his weapon and finally give up. Emil throws his hands in the air in order to surrender. However, the police, who are laid under the car, continue firing and strike him in the buttocks and leg. The officers then move around to the front of the car and cuff him as he laid on his stomach. Unknowing if the guy had a bomb or other weapons on him, one of the officers aimed a gun at the back of his head to make sure he didn't try anything, and the front of the gun was so hot that it seared the impression of the flash hider into the back of his head. After
I don't think people realize that, like, that's like a branding almost. You know, you see those Omega Sci-Fi brandings on dudes? That the barrel of the gun did that to the back of his head. You know what I'm saying? While he bleeding out at the same
After this,
time.
police and news crews managed to come up and begin to get action shots of the scene, which led to this very iconic image of the arrest. The police kept asking for Emil's name, to which he gave the false alias of P, something like a clipped femoral. However, what he did have was a bunch of barbiturates in his system. Barbiturates can also act as a blood thinner, so it's quite possible that the drug he was on caused him to bleed out a lot quicker. Emil laid on the ground bleeding for 56 minutes. Now, this argument has two sides. On the one hand, there were several calls coming in that another gun
Man, listen, 56 minutes is a long time to bleed out. I don't care how you can't even make that sound even remotely cool at all.
Yeah,
I mean, and then think about this: the ambulance took an hour to get there. The
on
ambulance.
purpose.
Maybe it got stuck in LA traffic. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. So think about that. That's why you out here playing in crime. You better think about that, man. Especially with other humans involved. Sometimes you be on the same page till you're not on the same page. You know what I'm saying?
Look at all the planning they did. Look, they were super equipped. They had guns, they had alternate guns, they had over 1,000 rounds of ammunition, and they still lost.
They did. Yep.
And you gonna do it with your uncle's 38 or your mom's 357 or 380 that you found
Six
under
shooter.
the pillow, and you gonna
Six
like
better.
rob a bank and you gonna have a shootout with the police.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
And then a lot of times, on a small scale, dudes in the inner city that do this, they may get away the first time, and then they keep going back. They got to go back and do it a second time. They got to go back and do it a third time. And then when they get caught, one person get caught, and he tell on everybody. They got us, man. They got us, man. No, they got you. You know what I'm saying?
Come out, Keith.
Everybody say they hard. Everybody say they on the same page. What you say, Bill?
No, I was just mocking. Come out, James. They got us, man. What?
Yeah. Everybody say they ain't gonna snitch down the same page till they get in their room, start throwing them years at them.
They see you in the bushes, man. They see you in the bushes.
Man, for
His
real.
his godmama live on 12th Street. He probably over there.
Boy,
I didn't want to go to jail by myself.
yeah. Going to the feds too. Woo-wee. Then, like I say, don't shoot at the police, man. That's a death wish, man. Don't do it. You asking for it, man. All right.